Hey guys, I found a thread on the DayZ forums called DayZ Urban Legends, and I thought it would be nice to have a campfire in the middle of the dark woods at night and read some of the posts in that thread. The first one comes from a user called DayZ and says, I spawned somewhere near Kamenka and was making my way to Cherno for some good started loot. There I was, crawling near some Zeds, when suddenly I heard that shuffle shuffle crawling noise behind me. So I stopped instantly, turned around, and bam, there was a guy right behind me, unarmed. He scared the crap out of me, but as the last of the friendly cans, I started talking via voice over IP. Yo dude, you freaking scared me. Wanna tag along? No response. I continued crawling with him right in my ass, still talking to him, still no response. Once I got past the Zeds, I hovered my crosshairs, yeah, regular server, over him, and the tag said, man. Right at this moment I crapped my pants, because the only man tags are usually Zeds on my map. I started running like the devil himself was chasing me, looking behind me every few seconds. No sign of him. Phew, what the hell was that? When suddenly that man was right behind me again. I scared quit the game in an instant. Another player by the name Bottle Rocket says, the only really weird thing I've ever seen was coming across a body of a survivor in a field that was surrounded by 20-30 bunnies, all hopping around merrily. When I got close, they stopped and turned as one to look at me. I just ran the hell out of there. Another player by the name Baird says, once after respawning by the coastline, I started making my way east just to get some starting supplies, things like a hatchet or hunting knives. Once I came across my first town, I headed inland, where higher ground was, just to get a bearing of what buildings are lootable, number of zombies, etc. After watching the town for a while, I saw a survivor on the outskirts of the town, run into it, with what appeared to be a bunch of walkers following him. At first I just thought that the poor guy was just getting chased, and that if he ran through the town like that, it would just mean less Zeds I would have to deal with. However, as he neared the town, he abruptly stopped. The Zeds, rather than completely overwhelming and devouring the guy, just stopped and got into the Delta formation from the game. He was controlling the zombies. I watched as he looted the town with his obedient zombie followers. The pre-existing zombies in the town paid no attention to the zombie master as he went through the town. After I was sure he was far enough, I ran inland as far as I could. Another player by the name Cupcap says, one night I was hanging around Lopatino, waiting for some friends to come pick me up in the UAZ. As I sat there outside the church, I watched a pair of zombie priests spawn and begin wandering around. It was a quiet night at home, so I was completely immersed in the game, and watching this pair of undead holy men walking around was a profoundly unnerving experience. Thinking of how they deserved better, I used a flare to lure one of the shamblers to a large tree, then quietly shot him in the forehead and buried his body beneath the branches. As I buried the body, the bell of the Lopatino church rang. I didn't think anything of it, having heard the bells in Cherno ringing from time to time. So I got ready to draw the second priest out of his path and beneath the tree. Again, I lured the priest and shot him in the forehead. This time the bell rang twice as I approached him. A little creepy, but alright, right? I received word over TeamSpeak that my friends were approaching and that I should meet them east of town, near some garages. As I passed through the churchyard, and close to the building, I began to hear something. Thinking it was coming over TeamSpeak, I derided my friend over his choice of driving music, to which I got a confused reply. I backtracked to where I heard it the strongest and began to listen. It sounded like chanting. Never having heard an Orthodox Christian chant before, I was still in no confusion as to what I was hearing. I stood there, listening to it, and suddenly the bell began to toll. I snapped out of it and went to meet my friends, but the experience stayed with me for the rest of the night. I haven't told anyone about it until now, and haven't been back to Lopatino to check it out. If anyone does, let me know what it sounds like to you, will you? The next tale comes from Disgrace. He says, I will never go to Skalisky Island again, that's for sure. I was pretty excited to find a PBX up north and with a lot of fuel. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to head to that island down south. It's probably unlooted, and I can see on the map that there's some buildings, even a boat dock. I wanted to make sure that no one would see me making my way there, so I waited until I could go there at night. Do not go to Skalisky at night. I'm serious. I hit shore on the north end of the island, and immediately something felt weird. I've been in the woods often on the main part of the map, and at night too. Something was weird. In fact, I checked my video settings because everything seemed to have an odd greenish tint. And the sound. In the woods on Skalisky, the wind sounds different. I turned my volume up because I could hear things, whispers, voices, footsteps. I was so worried that there were bandits here or something. I headed towards the buildings, assuming there would be some loot. I crawled and crouched past the zombies and neared the boat dock. As I was waiting for a zombie to go by, I heard a voice. I'm not kidding. I actually turned around in my room here in real life. It said, "Your turn." I looked frantically around, but it was getting darker and I couldn't see anything. Screw it, I thought. There's an open house here. I'll go inside and disconnect. I ran into the house and I could hear all the zombies shrieking and following me as usual. But then I heard a strange sound as I made it into the house. Zombies dying. No gunshot, and it sure as hell wasn't me. In the house, something was wrong. I could hear the wind, like when in the forest. And all of a sudden, that whisper. Your turn. There was a hole or hatch or something. A ladder leading down from the house. And as I looked down it, I saw something coming up. It was a zombie, I guess. I only got a glimpse, but it appeared to be wearing a tattered straight jacket and it had a bloody face. Crunch. My bones were broken. I lay on the ground, frantically rotating and looking around. I saw that face. Something white. A voice whispered, "Thank you." And the "You are dead" screen came up. Seriously. Okay guys, that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stories. I invite you to check out the thread in the DayZ forums, and I'll see you next time.